Now let us begin with class 12 syllabus in particular. First thing we're going to learn is what is solubility. As you can see, the definition of solubility says solubility of a substance is its maximum amount that can be dissolved in a specified amount of a solvent at a specified temperature. That means how much maximum amount of a particular substance you can dissolve in a particular solvent, and it is very much temperature dependent. So we have to be very specific about what is the solvent and what is the temperature. If we change the solvent and the quantity of the solvent, and if we change the temperature, then the solubility also changes. So you can see I have marked here in the note, it depends upon three factors. Number 1, nature of solute. Number 2, nature of solvent. And number 3, temperature. And number 4, pressure in certain cases, not always. So what do we mean by dependence on nature of solute? Say for example, if I take salt and if I add to water, I think all of you will notice that the salt will immediately dissolve in water. But at the same time, if I take some camphor or if I take some naphthalene and add to water, will it dissolve? That will not dissolve. So why it will not dissolve? Because the nature of the solute is not same. Salt was a polar compound, ionic compound, sodium chloride, but naphthalene is a pure covalent compound. And if you remember, in class 11 you have learned the nature of ionic compounds and the covalent compounds. Ionic compounds are highly soluble in water, whereas covalent compounds are insoluble in water. Now point number 2, they are dependent on nature of solvent as well. Say I take two different solvents. I take water and benzene. To both I add sodium chloride. What will you notice? In water, sodium chloride instantly dissolves, but in benzene, sodium chloride doesn't dissolve at all. Now if I change the solute, say I take naphthalene and I add to water, naphthalene will not dissolve, but it will immediately dissolve in benzene. So the solubility changes depending on the nature of the solvent as well. Now you might have noticed that when people make sweets and we make sugar syrup, they heat the water and sugar mixture at high temperature. More and more sugar dissolves at high temperature, and the moment we cool it down, the crystals of sugar separate out or it becomes more sticky. And the dependence of solubility on pressure is only true for gases, which we shall be learning soon, and I have sent you the note already, and that is governed by a law called Henry's law. So I hope the definition of solubility is clear to you all. Now solubility of solid in a liquid. So first kind of solution which we are talking about is the solid solutes, how when they dissolve in a liquid. So it is observed that, as I mentioned just now, that sodium chloride dissolves in water, but sodium chloride doesn't dissolve in benzene, whereas naphthalene dissolves in benzene but doesn't dissolve in water. So what we understand by this? It is observed that polar solvents dissolve in polar compounds dissolve in polar solvents. As you can notice here, it's mentioned, and non-polar solutes dissolve in non-polar solvents. So in simple word, we say like dissolves like. That means polar compounds dissolve in polar solvent, non-polar compounds dissolve in non-polar solvent. When a solid solute is added to the solvent, some solute dissolve and its concentration increases in solution. This process is called dissolution. That means, in other words, you can say it is dissolving and the concentration of the solute in the solvent will keep on increasing as more and more solute dissolve, and the process is called dissolution. Some solute particles in solution collide with the solid solution particles and get separated out of the solution, and this process is called crystallization. So crystallization is just reverse of dissolution. Now when we keep on adding solute to a particular volume of solvent, then once a situation will come and we'll find that the solute is no more dissolving in the solution. They attain a state of equilibrium, and such a solution is called saturated solution. You must see here that this solute plus solvent is separated by a reversible arrow, which means They have formed a saturated solution and no more solute can be dissolved here. Now, what really happens when a solution is forming a saturated solution? The process of dissolution and crystallization, they occur simultaneously at the same speed. As a result, no more solute dissolves in the solution. So here I have marked the definition of saturated solution. You can see a solution is said in which no more solute can be dissolved at the same temperature and pressure is called a saturated solution, and an unsaturated solution is one in which more solute can be added at a particular temperature and in the same volume of solvent. If we have a unsaturated solution, then this arrow will no longer be reversible. We have to replace it by a single-headed arrow. Then comes how the solubility of a solid will be affected by temperature and pressure. As you know, when the solid is dissolved in water, it turns to a liquid. That means you can say it is a change in state of the solid solute to a liquid. And we all know that when something during the change of state, when solid changes to a liquid, it is an endothermic process. So here you have to go back to the concept of thermodynamics. We know that all endothermic processes are favorable at high temperature by considering the formula delta G equal to delta H minus T delta S. I'll go back to this later when we'll discuss the solubility of gases. So delta G is an endothermic process, delta H is an endothermic process. That means delta H is positive. The entropy of the system is increasing because the solid particles are in proper orderly manner. When they turn to a liquid, their randomness increases. So delta S is positive. So when delta H and delta S both are positive, delta G will be negative only at high temperature. So I would like you to revise little bit of thermodynamics, that last part which we have done on delta G. Now when it is effect of temperature, you can see for solids the pressure does, that was effect of temperature discussed, now effect of pressure. In case of solids, the pressure doesn't have much significant effect on solubility of solids, because solids are already very closely packed. So if you give them more pressure, they cannot come further close. So effect of pressure is actually carry no sense in case of solubility of solids in a liquid.